Marlene McClinton, Dr. Neil Frank with weather, and Gib Nielsen on sports. This is KHOU 11 News at 5.
From all of the evidence which I see and the number of incidents which are coming across my desk, I'm concerned enough to move and to move very quickly.
The problem is violence, so severe now in some Houston schools, the superintendent is taking strong actions to make our schools safer places for everybody. Good evening, everybody. Increasing violence and the increasing use of weapons in Houston schools have led the school superintendent to order new security measures.
HISD Superintendent Joan Raymond says it is time for the district to get tough about fighting violence in schools. Among the new security steps, all security guards in schools will now wear uniforms. And at 10 high schools, all students and staff will be required to wear ID badges at all times on campus. Raymond wants an ordinance passed that would impose strict penalties for loitering on school grounds. She also wants a ban on anyone doing business with students while in school. Raymond's ideas were applauded by the school board, and some board members suggested further steps, like a ban on backpacks.
But I'm told in the middle and the high schools that the backpacks are how the children are bringing their little weapons or what have you into the schools.
Raymond says she talked to school principals about a ban on backpacks, and she got mixed reviews.
What the HISD superintendent did not do is what some have been demanding, that is, call for installing metal detectors in some of the schools. Dr. Raymond joins us now live from HISD headquarters.
Thank you, Dr. Raymond. Are these plans just the beginning, or are you looking at some other measures to help make the schools safer?
Well, I think it's just a beginning, Marlene. Clearly, we need to focus more attention on the safety of our students as well as our staff. I don't think that it's all the fault of the schools. I do think we have some problems with outsiders coming on and off of our campuses, which is what we hope the IDs will probably solve.
Well, you've got uniformed guards, or will have in some schools now. Why not take the next step and do the metal detectors business, Dr. Raymond?
Steve, we may very well do that. I talked with the building principals about that, and I believe very strongly that they need to have an opportunity to tell us what they need to tighten up their security. And if any of them indeed come back and say that they think that's what they need, I'll certainly recommend it.
You talked about violent incidents crossing your desk. What kind of violence are we seeing most in schools? Are we talking about the fighting in the schoolyard, or knives and guns and death?
I see more and more use of weapons in the schools, and more of our staff people are reporting that they're confiscating weapons. We begin to see more and more of an attitude, I would say, of the lack of respect for authority within the schools. And if that's going to take a uniformed officer on every floor in every school building, then that's what we're going to do.
Well, that leads to the next question. In the few seconds we have left, we certainly can't deal with this in a brief television interview, but aren't you basically dealing with a symptom of something that the schools can't do a whole lot about anyway?
That's right, Steve. We're going to have a lot of help from outside the schoolhouse, but our job is to make those schools as safe as we possibly can.
Well, we hope it works. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Marlene.
The Houston teacher missing nearly a week has been found in New Mexico. She's okay, but apparently disoriented because she hasn't been taking her medicine. Paula Wiley had not been seen since early last Wednesday when she left for work at a Southeast Houston school. Her family left Houston today to bring her back. They say she was found sleeping in a car in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Paula has a medical condition known as lupus, a blood system disorder, and not taking the medicine might have left her disoriented. 3 years almost to the day after her tragic murder, family members of the victim say they are still waiting for justice. A former Worthing High School basketball player was shot and killed by her coach, but a string of legal delays have kept him out of prison. 11 News reporter Carolyn Campbell has the story.
It's been 3 years since 24-year-old Adele Menifee was murdered, but the man who admits killing her still hasn't gone to prison. Family members are angry.
I think it should have been over at least 2 years ago. It's been dragging on too long.
52-year-old Ronald O'Neill, a former coach at Worthing High School, once dated Menifee, a Worthing graduate. O'Neill caught up with Menifee and her boyfriend 3 years ago after a car chase through Southeast Houston. He shot Menifee and 27-year-old Tommy Lee Charles. Charles was shot 7 times but survived. O'Neill pled guilty to charges of murder and attempted murder 3 months ago. Judge Jay Burnett will sentence O'Neill. Family members were hoping that would happen today. But defense attorney Ed Millett asked for more time so that he could bring in several expert witnesses next week. The judge agreed.
Had Ronald O'Neal killed a white girl, he'd be on death row. There's no doubt about it, and you can quote me on that. You know, I think there's one of those things that the system just does not work as fast, or in my opinion, the way it should work whenever it's black on black crime.
The prosecutor blames part of the delay on State Representative Deborah Danberg, who is one of O'Neal's attorneys.
Going on, we've had continuances and legislative continuances, and now we finally get a chance to put our evidence on in the case and to try to show the judge really what happened in the case, and the defense asked for another continuance.
Family members and friends fill the courtroom, hoping this time they could finally put the case behind them. Now they must come back again.
This is ridiculous. My family, along with the Menifee family, has suffered far too long.
Carolyn Campbell, 11 News.
In Washington, debate still rages this evening over that $500 billion budget trimming package, and an initial vote in the House of Representatives simply may have to wait for a while because it appears to be in big trouble. Backers of the plan say they don't have the votes to approve even a rough draft of the taxing and cutting deal. The Speaker of the House made an emergency trip to the White House to brief the president. Tom Foley says a vote may have to be put off until tomorrow to give him and his people more time to try to corral support.
And many people oppose the measure because of its tax increases, Medicare cuts, and other provisions. But without a budget agreement, lawmakers will have to scramble to come up with a new plan ahead of cuts ordered by the Graham-Rudman Act. Sam Saucedo has our report.
There seems to be no relief for the nation's lawmakers. The telephones haven't stopped ringing since announcement of the budget agreement.
I appreciate you calling us, and I will relay this to the senator for you.
Senator Lloyd Benson's Houston office has taken hundreds of calls, and more than 85% are against adoption of the budget.
The ages of most of these people are?
They're 60 plus, 62 plus.
Well, seniors.
So, yeah.
Concerned about Medicare.
Right.
But Congress is also under the gun to cut the deficit. If not, the Graham-Rudman Act will impose massive cuts across the board.
If there's not a resolution, and if the Graham-Rudman Act falls, then the budget cuts become arbitrary, not only in the sense of on whom they fall, but on the services that are hit.
Spending cuts are also what the callers are urging lawmakers to enact.
The issues as far as increasing tax and not cutting spending. They don't feel like spending has been cut enough, but that now we're increasing taxes, and that's a major concern.
But many other people are more concerned about what the Graham-Rudman Act would do.
That's the concern that government employees have. That's the concern of people that are dependent upon federal government services. And it's a stupid way to run the government's business.
The business of government is not the only pressure lawmakers are feeling. The general election is only 5 weeks away. Sam Saucedo, 11 News.
And now to add more insight into what's going on in Washington, let's visit with the senior senator from Texas, Senator Lloyd Bentsen.
Senator, when you negotiators put this package together, did you have any idea of the amount of disapproval you would be getting?
Steve, no question about it. There's some very unpopular political choices there, and we're fully aware of that. But I must say that what you're seeing is the culmination of about a decade of hot checks by the government. They're coming due, and we've got to pay them. And the alternative, if we don't do this, is real chaos, and I think very serious problems for the country. So I'm supporting the president on this very unpopular vote. I think it has to be done.
There are many who are criticizing it because they say it's heaping the burden on the elderly and the middle class. Can we not do something to help these people? Do they have to be hit so hard?
I fought very hard to see that we put it across the entire economic spectrum, and those at the very top, that they would pay their share. We weren't able to win that to the extent that we should. And finally, this is the settlement we have. But none of us can draft this just as we would have liked it. And it is a compromise. It is reasonably balanced. I would have much preferred that we had not seen average family incomes hit as much as they have been. But these are the realities of what we're facing. And if we don't pass it, we're going to have very serious economic problems for the country. If we do pass it, I hope we can get these interest rates down and get this country moving again.
Well, Senator, you've got a combination in the House of liberal Democrats and conservative Republicans. How can you possibly get anything through the House with that sort of remarkable and very unusual combination.
Steve, there's going to be breaking a lot of arms in the process, and that'll be the leadership of both Republicans and Democrats and the president. And it's going to be a close call. We're hoping to get that vote done tonight. And if they do, we'll probably be in the Senate till midnight or so to act on it here. I think we can pass it here. We really don't have any votes to spare.
It's a pretty sure thing in the Senate, though, isn't it, Senator?
No, Steve, it's not that sure. We've got about 7 leaners on the Democratic side that we have to pick up. I think we're going to get them.
Do you realize that people think this is being shoved down their throats?
This is being shoved down our throats. We worked at this thing for 4 months, and now we're up against the wall, and it has to be done. And there was tough, hard negotiation, but it is really paying for these 10 years where neither the president or the administration or the Congress faced up to their responsibility. Last year, I walked out on the budget summit meeting because I said it was blue smoke and mirrors and a lot of creative accounting and wouldn't get the job done. And I was right, and it did not. This one is a credible cut, warts and all.
All right, Senator. We appreciate your joining us. Thank you.
Good to be with you.
A special state committee says it has plans to reduce hazardous waste in Texas, but it quickly and freely admits it's not likely to get the money for the job. The Hazardous Waste Reduction Advisory Committee presented its final report to the Texas Water Commission. It offered a number of ways to reduce the state's hazardous waste production, all ways that cost money. That proposal was adopted. Later, Commission member Senator Chet Brooks of Pasadena said a controversial plan for a toxic waste incinerator near LaPorte could be changing.
Frankly, the one that you mentioned in my district is probably moving close to even consideration by the applicants of a different site, of trying to find an alternate site. The need for the waste treatment or waste disposal is obvious in an industry.
In fact, Brooks said the builder of that toxic waste incinerator is considering moving the facility away from a nearby school, but it would still stay in the LaPorte area. A final decision on that toxic waste operation is set for October 10th in Austin.
All eyes are on NASA as the space agency again prepares to try a shuttle launch. Coming up, a visit with the people in charge of getting Discovery off the ground.
Republican candidate for governor rides into town amid charges he's ducking a debate. Later, not only talking to the animals, also blessing them. We'll be right back.
A 16-valve dual overhead cam engine, Lotus Tune suspension. Introducing the all-new Isuzu Impulse. At less than $12,000, you'll be amazed at just how fast your money can go.
Now, generous factory-to-dealer cash incentives could mean big savings during Isuzu's bottom line sale.
USDA choice boneless beef shoulder, Texas broil, $1.49 a pound. Gold medal flour, 5-pound bag, 79 cents. Limit 2 with $10 purchase. And Parquet margarine quarters, 1-pound package, 3 for $1. Limit 3 with $10 purchase.
Cruising, I feel, is something that a lot of people dream about.
Somewhere between a wish and a dream, somewhere.
Somewhere is here on a princess cruise.
Somewhere between a wave and the sea, between a glance and a touch.
Somewhere. Only on Princess. It's more than a cruise. It's the Love Boats.
Dear Walgreens, I was asked to sing at a relative's wedding, and I wasn't going to let the flu stop me. We were on the train when I realized I didn't have my medication. On the way to the church, I stopped at a Walgreens. The pharmacist called up my records on your satellite system, and I received enough medicine for the weekend. P.S. The bride said I was in great voice.
Here's a good-as-gold photo finishing special. Get a second set of color prints for 99 cents, up to 36 extra prints. Next day, next door, from Walgreens.
11 News is brought to you in part by Walgreens, superior healthcare technology.
Anti-nuclear leaders say they still have hope a federal judge will stop Saturday's scheduled launch of the space shuttle. The discovery carries a probe that is nuclear-powered.
Today, a judge in Washington, D.C. took the argument under advisement, but there is no word on when he'll be ruling on this. Meanwhile, Nancy Holland reports people at NASA think this time they may make it back into space after 5 months of disappointments.
The countdown for NASA's return to space continues. Tucked in the payload bay of the orbiter is Ulysses, a probe that scientists call a cosmic detective. It will be sent on a voyage to circle the sun and send back information on things that sound more science fiction than fact, gamma rays and solar winds. As the launch nears, even usually scientific types at NASA start to put things in human terms.
It's about like seeing your children leave home. You feel good about them, you feel that they're grown up and ready to go out into the world, but when they do go, often we as parents end up with a little tear right here in the corner.
For flight controllers at the Johnson Space Center, it has been a long summer waiting to get back into space. They've had to put their private and family lives on hold to continue training for missions that have never left the ground. But the lead flight controller now says the frustration is giving way to something else.
We are anxious and we are determined to fly the next flight. And that's what I've seen as probably a big change, is the frustration that set in early in the summer has now changed to an anxious and a determined feeling to go fly.
Discovery is the one shuttle that has not had hydrogen leak problems. They say they fully expect it to fly. And for flight controllers like Heather Mitchell, the expectation is already soaring.
You still get kind of nervous and, you just always hope for everything to work out perfectly, but you still have that big anticipation that you're part of the team.
NASA says at this point it can't think of a single reason Discovery will not fly. Nancy Holland, 11 News.
The two main candidates for governor of Texas are still bickering this evening over whether or not there will be any debates in this campaign. Republican Clayton Williams was in Houston picking up an endorsement by the Police Officers Association. Williams says he's ready to debate Ann Richards, but first she has to sign a pledge not to run any more negative campaign ads. The Richards camp accuses Williams of being afraid to debate. He denies that. He says he's just tired of the mudslinging.
She attacked me unfairly, untruthfully, initially, just like she did Mark White when she attacked his home, just like she did Jim. Actually has a pattern of negative campaigning.
Well, each side claims it wants a debate, but so far terms for one have not been worked out. Richards has accepted 2 debate invitations. Williams stands firm. No so-called clean campaign pledge, no debate. They're at the top of their game. Coming up, Gift tells us about the high school football team of the week.
And later on, a soggy forecast from Neil.
11 News is brought to you in part by Walgreens, superior healthcare technology.
Last year, 76 children died in senseless murders. Yet killing a child in Texas is not a capital crime. That's not justice. That's a tragedy. When I'm governor, we're going to have some new rules. A death penalty for those who murder children, and I'll make sure it applies to those who kill kids by selling them drugs. It's time to make the punishment fit the crime.
Clayton Williams for governor.
That's the way to make Texas great again.
Fresh, natural goodness of Sargento shredded cheese makes any dish easy to prepare and impossible to resist. Sargento of Wisconsin.
Today, you want to eat right. Right. You want to eat light. Light. You want to eat smoked sausage.
Smoked sausage? Eckrich Light Smoked Sausage, with 25% less fat and calories than other leading brands, but with a taste that's 100% pure Eckrich. So try Eckrich Light Smoked Sausage and all our light meats.
I feel lighter already.
If it's not Eckrich Light, it's not good enough.
Right.
Hey, Mr. Avalon, you're gonna order the steak and ring special, aren't you?
Sure, you gotta try Sonic Steak and Rings, Frankie. But guys, I already...
Really hungry? Then try Sonic's Chicken Fried Steak Sandwich, plus our famous onion rings. Sonic's Steak and Rings for only $2.59.
Here's your steak and rings, Mr. Avalon.
Good. I ordered for all of us.
America's driving faster and better than ever. Sonic.
High School Team of the Week is brought to you by Sonic, America's Drive-In.
And it's that time for the high school football team of the week.
Just when we go like
That's the
that.
time.
Gif's in the newsroom with details on that. Gif?
Steve and Marlene, you don't know what these guys are going to do, but week 5 of the high school football season kicks off tonight with a couple of interseeding matchups. Bel Air is playing Sharpstown out at Butler, while Sterling entertains Austin at Barnett. As for our team of the week, we headed north again as the powerhouse this week is ranked as one of the top teams in the nation. Team of the week, team of the year, team of the week, team of the year. It seems like I'm going to live out here, out at Aldine High School, once again giving away the 11 Sports High School Team of the Week award to the Aldine High School football team. A great come-from-behind win as they beat Kingwood 24-21 to remain undefeated. Coach, you just find ways to win. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Gif. I'm very proud of our kids. We've played an extremely difficult schedule. The teams we've played have all been undefeated up to this point. We're playing another undefeated team Friday night. It's a great challenge. I'm proud of our kids for standing up to it.
What Aldine accomplished was just short of a miracle. On 4th and 25 with 1:47 to play, down 21-17, quarterback Eric Gray hit Will Skinner for a 65-yard touchdown. It was a play Skinner certainly will never forget.
I felt great. I'm serious. It was like I was really pumped up and I was ready to get the ball. As soon as it hit my hands, I just went with the flow.
Aldine is rich in football tradition. Great teams come up with big plays leading to victory. That's why they are still number 1.
Well, I told the defensive guys in the huddle, I said, if you have anything inside, we'll come together as a team and we'll play, play together. And we just did it. And thank God we came out victorious.
Play together, that is the key. And as Coach Smith said, Aldine plays another undefeated team tomorrow night. They face Nimitz, which is another top 10 team. Coming up at 6, the baseball playoffs begin tonight. We'll have Game 1 of the National League Championship Series between the Pirates and the Reds starting at 7 right here on Channel 11. If that thing doesn't go on into extra innings, we'll probably be on at 10 even. Steve and Marlene?
Well, we all hope so, Gif. It'll be a good game. Thank you.
Could be a soggy game. A little rain today.
Well, it would have been today, I'll tell you that. And all that rain that we were expecting yesterday, well, it moved in today. But before looking at the rain, let's check in on our allergy report. And as we speculated yesterday, that pollen is on the rise, and ragweed, of course, is a big problem. While good news, the mold spores are on the fall. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that rain today.
From the snowy peak of Mount McKinley to the sapphire waters of Prince William Sound, nearly recovered from last year's spill. Come visit Alaska. Incredible treasures await you, the magnificent and the simple. And you'll find the many people who've made Alaska a way of life. See the gift that nature has bestowed. And when you do, you'll know Alaska, its people, and yourself a whole lot better.
We're coming up on $800,000 in the FM 100 KILT Social Security contest.
Your Social Security card is your ticket to win part of the next $100,000. It's the easiest to win contest in town.
Just remember the last 2 digits of your Social Security number. Then listen to the Hudson and Harrigan Show weekday mornings at 7:13 on FM 100 KILT.
Win on your birthday, win an additional $50,000 birthday bonus. Nobody gives away more money. 12 in a row, FM 100 KILT.
The Stanley 1/2 horsepower heavy-duty garage door opener. It's easy to install. It's even easier to use. Builder Square, the warehouse with everything for your house. A rugged McCulloch Wildcat 18-inch gas chainsaw. At this price, that's quite a cut. Builder Square, the warehouse with everything for your house.
Quarterback Corner, Friday night following 11 News at 10.
Well, a little cooler today, 89 degrees out at Intercontinental. That's 3 degrees cooler than yesterday, but it's still 4 degrees above normal. 87 on the island is 6 degrees above normal, and the winds did die down a little bit today, blowing out of the southeast 5 to 10. Now, around some of the thunderstorms and the showers, they were gusty at times to 20, 25 miles an hour and came from about any direction. And the reason it was a little cooler is all that rain that we expected yesterday came today. Let's start the radar at about 7:30 this morning. You can see a large area of rain in the northeastern part of the viewing area. All that's drifting off to the east. And then I put a pause in here at about 11 o'clock because now watch the showers and the rain develop off to the southwest, and it is moving slowly towards us. The heaviest rain right now tends to be down around the El Campo area. And the reason for the rain is because we do have a Pacific front headed in our direction. At about 7 o'clock this morning, it had just passed Waco. It went by Austin at 10 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, it went by College Station. So it is on the move, and you can see behind that front a little cooler temperatures, 50s and even a 49 at Amarillo. But ahead of the front today, it was very warm, 77 at Intercontinental. That's 15 degrees above normal, while the 82 on the island is 10 degrees above normal. Now, as we watch the satellite pictures in motion now for the last 10 hours, watch the thunderstorms here develop and slowly move off to the northeast as that front is making progress, and it's just to the northwest of us at the present time. Behind the front, temperatures in the 80s, even 70s out around Amarillo, but ahead of the front, very hot, 95 degrees at Brownsville. That is a new record. Here's the broad picture, and you can see that front in southeast Texas. Now, that front's going to stall, I think that it probably will ease by us. It really doesn't make much difference because we're not going to get any cold air in it. But for you boaters, the winds will be out of the east and northeast 10 to 15 tomorrow, shifting to the southeast as we head towards the weekend. So I think that we'll see a drying trend as we head towards Saturday. Our forecast calls for a 20% chance of yet showers tonight, and you can see that temperatures in the 80s, overnight about 75 degrees, still pretty warm. And then tomorrow afternoon, back up towards the 90-degree mark, still a chance of getting some showers tomorrow, and then we'll dry it out a little bit as we get towards Sunday. But with the drying, sun comes out and the temperatures go back into the 90s, and at 6 o'clock, we're going to talk about 2 tropical storms.
Have you forgotten this is October?
Yes.
Might as well. Thank you.
Coming up, blessing the beasts.
Only one optical superstore offers fashionable glasses, custom made, in about 60 minutes. And now, when you use your Sears charge, no payments or billing for 90 days. Only iMasters offers all this. Plus, buy 1 pair, get 1 pair free, or save $25 on a single pair. All this with these coupons from your paper. All with your Sears charge. All in about 60 minutes. Get a better look at iMasters.
Breakfast is special at Whataburger. Hot coffee, fresh orange juice, fluffy pancakes, breakfast on a bun, or an original Whataburger taquito made the way you like them. Sausage and egg or potato and egg.
Good things never change at Whataburger.
The original Whataburger taquito.
Come on, guys. I want to get to work early today. Why is that? Because I've got a big day today. Why is that? Because there are a lot of people counting on me.
At Randall's, people care enough to do a better job.
You're going to like this. Why that? Because it's the best.
Now save on Dr. Pepper, 6-pack, 12-ounce cans, only 99 cents. Haagen-Dazs pints, just $1.69. And Kraft Belvita slices, 16-ounce size, only $2.88. Now at Randall's.
Get ready for Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers with the exclusive NFL Oilers poster, brought to you by Channel 11. To order your poster, send a check or money order for $6.95 to Houston Oilers Poster, Post Office Box 11, Houston, Texas 77001. All proceeds benefit the Crescent Moon Foundation, providing scholarships and services for deserving youths in the Houston area. Don't pass on the chance to score with your exclusive Oilers poster, only from Channel 11.
And finally tonight, a special day for the kids and their pets at the St. Vincent de Paul Catholic School. Hundreds of children brought in their pets for the annual St. Francis of Assisi Blessing of the Animals. Dogs were a favorite at the event, as were your feline friends, but also on hand were less conventional pets like bunnies, even a turtle. The event is usually held outdoors, but bad weather forced it inside. Although the turtle might rather have been outdoors.
Don't you think very little teaching got done today there at St. Vincent's?
I think so. That's our news. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good evening. We'll see you again later tonight.
For Gift Nielsen Sports free at any time, dial 878-8000. Then dial GIF, GIFF.